Well, you know what they say. Once you go brat, you never go back. Wait, that's not right, is it? For the past few months or so, charlixcx's album BRAT has been completely taking over the world. And I've just been sitting back, looking at the memes, having a little laugh, but not really truly understanding the concept of what it means to be BRAT. And so I decided that I was tired of being left out on all of the fun, and I finally listened to the album. Naturally, I had to see what all of the fuss was about after literally the whole entire internet was going crazy over it. And you know, I'm an opinionated girl, so instead of just listening just for the sake of it, I thought, hey, how about we listen and compare every single song on this album, plus the Lorde remix. So what I did first is that I just listened to the album a couple of times and just took note of what I liked sonically about each song and what I didn't like sonically about each song. And then after a couple listens, I then listened and started scoring the songs just to get like a rough list going of what I thought the good ones and bad ones were. And then I put the ones with similar rankings against each other and compared and contrasted them based on 5 different aspects: lyrics, instrumental, vocals, production, and catchiness. And also a little bit of just the overall feelings that I had for each one. And then I formed my number list from best to worst, ranking that way. And this was definitely a challenge considering the fact that there were 19 songs that I listened to for this video, and a lot of them were very, very different from each other. So it was hard to pit them against each other and say which one was better. And also because I ended up liking a majority of the songs on the album, it just was very, very tedious trying to put them in an exact order. And my rating switched around a whole bunch, and it probably will continue to switch around in later days just as I listen more to the album and get more familiar with it, but this is just like where I'm at right now. Along with my numbered ranking, each song will be categorized as one of the letters in the acronym BRAT that I created to show you that a low ranking doesn't necessarily mean that I hate the song, because like I said, I like a lot of the songs on this album. So going from best to worst, B is best song ever created, R is ridiculously good, A is acceptable or awesome, and T is tired. Like some of these songs just like that's tired, let's wrap it up. Like I'm done. Yawn, I'm yawning. It's not giving. It's not giving, I'm sorry, it's not giving. And without any further ado, let's begin. In last place, we have got B2B, or Back to Back. Back to Back is about Charli being in a love triangle kind of situation. And it's like this guy, and then he's between her and another girl, and he keeps going back and forth. I don't necessarily hate this song. It definitely is an earworm. It's very catchy. It has been in my head for days. But I think that it's longer than it should be, especially considering how repetitive it is and how there isn't really much going on, despite for them the same continuation of back to back to back to back to you. Just again and again and again. So you quickly feel like you're just ready for the song to be over because it's going on for so long with nothing really substantial or truly interesting happening. It's a club song, obviously, so maybe I would like it better if I was like actively partying, but just from like a casual listening perspective, the constant repetition of the same line over and over again was not, it wasn't giving. I was yawning. It was tired. It was. I'm sorry it was. But the repetition did make it very, very catchy though, because I remember it all. I can never forget. But it's not like terrible to listen to. Like, it doesn't sound bad. It's just like, it's not the best thing I've ever heard. It's not really the most enjoyable experience, but it's okay. But am I gagging? I don't think so. Next up, we have Guess. Guess is just like horny. Like, girl, what's wrong with you? Guess is about, she's Charli, she's just being bratty. You know, she's going out, she's getting it. She's like, you want to guess the color of my underwear? It's just like flirty, fun vibe. Yes, that's what it is about. Yes. It just really does nothing for me once I got out of the original shock factor from the lyrics. Is like, I listen to it, I'm just like, okay, that's enough. Like, it just doesn't do anything. I just have no real thoughts or opinions about it. It exists. I don't know if I need her, but she's there. I don't know if I need her. Sympathy's a Knife is about the internal struggle of like comparing yourself to others, and it's about Charli like looking at another musician and comparing her career and her life to that other more successful person. And it's rumored to be about Taylor Swift, and it definitely is about Taylor Swift, but she never says anything bad about Taylor Swift. It's all very internal about her own feelings. This song has really good lyrics, and that is about where the good things that I have to say about it stop. It's just kind of overstimulating in a way. Like, it sounds really wonky in my ears. Something about like the vocal synth or like the dissonance of it is just not really pleasing to me. Sometimes it actually like hurt to listen to. Like, a few times it actually made my ears start ringing when I was listening to it, and like that's like actually insane. I don't think that it's really necessarily very memorable either, and I did feel the very strong urge to skip it most of the times that I heard it, except for like maybe my last listen. My last one I was like, okay, it's a bit more bearable. Still not loving her. Still don't think that I'll be going back to her. I won't be going back to her anytime soon. Next up, we have Girl So Confusing, the original version. Girl So Confusing is about the tension-filled relationship between Charli and another female artist that we later learn is Lorde, that was kind of perpetuated by the media, and because of people constantly comparing them, their relationship together had a bit of a strain to it. And it's about kind of just talking about why she was feeling the way that she was towards her. I just feel like the song didn't really catch my attention from the beginning. You know, like, sure, of course the chorus is catchy, but aside from that, none of the rest of it was really too memorable for me. You know, nothing that I was going crazy over, really. I think that like the fact that I knew that the version with Lorde existed also warped my perception of it a little bit, because I was like, okay, yeah, this is like fine, but I know that there's a better version out there just waiting for me to listen to. And so I was just like, okay, sure, but like I knew there were better things coming is what I knew. Okay, next we have Rewind. And for the record, I see my 15 through 13 to be interchangeable, and it was quite difficult to decide which was better than which, and I ended up switching around like these three songs specifically a bunch of different times. But I like all of them, so that I think that's what made it difficult, because like now we're getting into like the I like this. Rewind is about Charli wanting to go back to a time where she was less self-critical, insecure, and worried about everything, and wanting to go back to her childhood that was a more simpler time. I heavily resonate with that. I think Rewind is just a really solid song. It's got a catchy hook, you know, it's got some relatable lyrics, it's giving the experience nostalgia growing up, girlhood. I feel that. There's like nothing really too exciting about it, but it's a good song though. 365. It's a song about being the it girl, a song about being the party girl. She's going around, she's bumping that, and it's just a fun time. That's literally just it. When I first heard 365, I loved it. I loved it. I was like, oh my god, we're bumping that. We're literally bumping that. I felt it in the deepest depths of my soul. I was moving, I was grooving, I could not stay in my seat. It was hitting. It was a banger, okay? But at a certain point in the end, this is another thing with just like the club song and club vibes. Once it starts going on for too long and it's just like you're repeating the same phrase again and again and again and again and again, towards like the end of the song, I did start to check out, and I do check out every single time I listen to it at that same point. And sadly, I feel like the more that I listen to the song, the less I like it. And that really hurts my soul, because that was my girl. That was my girl. My first listen, that was my girl. My second listen, she was still my girl, but the more that I listen to it, the less it starts to hit, and that is really sad. Right above that, we have 360. 360 is about the concept of Charli being everywhere and her inspiring everyone. And she's like, when you're in the mirror, do you like what you see? When you're in the mirror, you're just looking at me, because her and her influence are everywhere. And it's about how she's that girl. So at first, during my first couple listens, I thought that 365 absolutely blew this song out of the water. I am so serious. But after some more listening and some more thinking, I think that I like 360 a tiny bit more than 365. The instrumental just eats. It's so catchy. It's been in my head all day long. I can't stop thinking about it, like 666 with a princess streak. I'm everywhere, I'm so Julia. Bumping that, like it hits. I really also like the sound of Charli's voice on this song, like the dialect of it. It tickles your ear in a really pleasing way, and I like it, and I think that it's fun. Next up, we have Von Dutch. Von Dutch is a song about Charli being that bitch. It's just like she is that girl, and she's so cool, and she's so like, she's the it girl, everybody wants to copy her. That's what Von Dutch is about. And she's just like she's the it girl. Everybody wants to be like her. People want to like come at her because she's at the top. This song definitely gave me the vibe of a Veronica song like Popular. So when I did some reading and found out that Charli was going for like a Y2K Paris Hilton kind of sound where people just say whatever they want and don't think about being like polite or nice or like filtering what they have to say, just like being brutally honest, off the cuff, that kind of vibe. It definitely made sense, and it definitely translated well into the song because I knew what she was going for, and I get it. The song is just like shady. It's just shady, and I kind of live for that. Like, she's cocky, she's eating the girls up. Like, it's giving. It's giving, it gave. I get money, you get mad because the bank's shut. Gag. 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 Gag, thank you. I think that this is probably gonna be like a new hype up song for me, like a new little anthem when I'm feeling down and out and be like, okay, let's turn on Bon Dutch, let's get ourselves together. Because that is the same thing that I do with Popular. Like, that's on my list, is like, okay, we're feeling sad, let's listen to this, let's remember who we are. And this is definitely gonna go on that same playlist, and it's gonna be a part of the everyday routine. It is. I also really like the vocal production on this song. I feel like it's just like, the vocals on it sound really good. I like all of the little strange things going on with it. I like everything going on in this song. I really, really love it, love it. Next up we have Apple. Apple is basically what it sounds like. It's like, okay, like, you know, the saying, the apple never falls far from the tree. It's about that, and about Charli dealing with someone trying to talk to someone who doesn't really understand her, which is probably her mother. And so because she feels like she's not being heard and understood, she wants to escape and leave, and she wants to go to the airport, and she wants to fly somewhere else. This song really, really resonated with me. Is it a good thing? I don't really know, but it did resonate with me. I said, oh, that's me. Oh, it's me. She's writing about me. That's about me. That's about me in my life, actually. I really like the instrumental of this song. The instrumental gives like a good like 80s vibe, and I just feel like I'm like in the mall, and I'm like, okay, this is cute. I like that a lot. Also, just some food for thought, Apple and airport, they sound similar in the song with the way she thinks, with the way that she sings it. Apple and airport sound similar in the song with the way that she sings it. So just think about that for a moment and take that information in. Yeah. Okay, next we have I Think About It All the Time. I Think About It All the Time is about Charli reevaluating her life and thinking about whether or not now is the time to start a family and to have a child, and considering, like, weighing out her thoughts about like her career and her future and where she wants to go, and if having a child now is worth it. And it's about her feeling like she's running out of time because, you know, the clock is ticking. This song is just like very, very introspective, and it really gets you to sit there and think not only about like Charli's life, what she's writing about, but also about your own life and like everything, like the grand scheme of it all, really. The humming in the song that she does, the unforgettable. It sticks there. It sticks there, and it never goes away, it never goes anywhere. Like, you hold on to that. I feel like something about the instrumental in this song though feels really eerie and unsettling to me. Like the organ or whatever like synthy thing that they have going on, like it kind of makes my stomach churn. And I don't know if that was on purpose, but it just makes me feel like uneasy in a way. But I'm like, if that was on purpose, like, hey, that makes sense. If it wasn't, you know, like, girl, like, it's giving Halloween, I'm scared. Next up we have Everything is Romantic. Okay, B.R.A.T? No. BRAT. Everything is Romantic is about romanticizing all of the little things in life, and the majority of the song is about Italy. When Charli like goes to Italy or whatever, vacation in Italy or whatever, and then just like all the little things like the fruit and the vibes and like the families and the lifestyle over there, and it's just about romanticizing things because everything can be romantic. The opening instrumental literally like gave me full body chills when I listened to it. Like, my eyes rolled into the back of my head and I was like frozen in place while I was hearing that, and I was like, oh my god, like that classical music intro, so insane. Like, it really did something to me. It really took over. I really like the contrast of the classical instrumental with like the fast melody that she had in the beginning. I thought that was really cool. And then like when the rest of like the instruments come in, like it's just cool. Like the beat comes in, I'm like, okay. I just really think that it's very, very well done. Production wise, very, very cool. She sounds really, really British in this song, you know, falling in love again and again. I'm like, okay girl, you're a young girl from Essex, I get it. I just really like the synth and the production on this one. And I feel like it like really reads like a movie soundtrack, and I think that's so cool. Also at the end, the like repeated fall in love again and again, fall in love again and again, with the like synth and distortion and like layering going on, sounds so sick. Like it's so cool. I really, really like that. Next up we've got Talk Talk. Talk Talk is about Charli and her fiance George, but this was before they started dating, back when they were just like texting with each other. And then she saw him at a party, and it's basically like, oh, I wish you would just come over and talk to me. And she was like watching him from across the room. I love this song from the first moment that I heard it, and I feel like I kind of knew that I would, because I heard like a little, I think I heard a little clip of it before I did my full listen to the album, like a very, very tiny little clip of it. And I just felt like it was my vibe. I felt like it connected with me right away. I was like, this is my kind of song. And then I listened to the whole thing, and yet again, yes, I was correct. It was yet again, it was my kind of song. I was right about that. It's just catchy, it's just memorable, it's just like girl core. Like I'm like, okay, like this feels like a real life. Like I really, like this is real. charlixcx, you are real, girl. And the outro literally gives. Talk to me in French, talk to me in Spanish, talk to me in your made-up language, doesn't matter if I understand it, like that. Talk to me in French, talk to me in Spanish. Like, okay, that eight, and like instant like replaying that again and again every single time I said, okay, talk to me in French, talk to me in Spanish. It gives, and when it gives, I have to tell you that it does give. I'm talking like a Twitter user in this video. This is so embarrassing for me. Yikes, girl. Okay, next up we have Club Classics. Club Classics is about Charli talking about like all the different like hyperpop artists and DJs that she knows and that she's affiliated with, and she's like, I want to go to the club and I want to dance to this person, I want to go to the club, I want to dance to Sophie, I want to go and I want to dance with George. And it's like just like a little nice little call to all of the little icons in that scene. This song makes me feel like I'm in the club, obviously, doing lines with like a swamp frog or like a wonky wizard, and it's like psychedelic. I'm like, okay, what's going on right now? Like I feel like I'm like high off the coke, like I'm moving, I can't stop moving, I'm shaking it. Like it's full body experience is what it is. Like I'm literally moving, I'm literally bumping. Every single time I hear the song, I cannot stay in my seat. I'm not staying still for a single second. I'm getting up and I'm moving. Everybody moved. Like we're literally partying. The difference between this song and the other songs that are like made for clubbing is that I think this song is the perfect amount of time for me to not lose interest in it. Because like the other songs, I feel like they go on for a bit too long. So it's like when you're just casually listening to it, like you're not actually like dancing, partying, moving, it is not as enjoyable. But this song knows when to end, and so I feel like I can listen to this anytime and I can still feel the vibe and it still is good. Okay, next we've got Mean Girls. Mean Girls is about society's obsession with the concept of a mean girl and the concept of a woman just going around doing whatever, not like being nice, not having to be kind and like prissy, just going around doing her own thing, saying whatever she wants. The first like 2 seconds of this song with like the clattering, whatever that even is, I don't even know what that is, but it kills me every single time. Cause like, girl, what is that? And I if anybody knows what that is, please let me know, because I have no idea what that intro is. This song just gives. It's just cool. It's actually like, in a way, it's kind of every girl. And it's very much like modern woman. And so I'm like, okay, like this, I like this, like it makes sense. Like I picture it. Again, like I can picture it. The way that she writes her songs and like verbalizes things, like I can see it. And I see this. I see that girl. I know that girl. Maybe I am that girl. Like I get that. I might say something stupid. It is about Charli not really feeling like she belongs with other successful people and kind of a bit of like imposter syndrome. The song's about when she like went to a party and she was like just freaking out, like, oh my god, why did I say that, why did I say this, and just feeling very out of place in her own life, even though she's very successful in her own right, but being around other people who also are in the same field kind of makes her feel a bit uncomfortable in herself. I fell in love with the song the very first time that I heard it. I immediately was like, okay, like this is it. It was like a completely different vibe than everything else, and I really like a ballad for Charli. Like, I think that it sounded really good, and I liked the feeling that it gave me. I thought that it was nice. This is another song that literally makes my eyes roll back into my head literally the whole time that it's on. I feel all of it. This song really shows off her vocal talent, which I really like. It has really nice instrumental. I feel like it's too short though. I wish it was longer. I was listening to it, I was like, why is this so short? Like, this was peak of everything. It needs to be longer. Like, I need more of it, please. I just love it. I just think that it's great. It's one flaw. It's like the weird like auto-tune vibrato thing going on, because I feel like it wasn't really necessary in the song. I don't have a problem with like a stylistic auto-tune, but for a ballad like this, I don't think that it was needed. So that's like the song's only fault, the only thing that I have like against it. Everything else, absolutely love it. Okay. Ooh, Spring Breakers. Spring Breakers. Spring Breakers is about Charli getting snubbed from the Grammys, and she's like, okay, you guys don't want to like see me, you don't like my music, you don't like what I do, okay, I'm gonna show and I'm gonna bomb the place. So it's about her coming, she's gonna wreak havoc on the Grammys. She doesn't care because hey, you don't want to nominate me, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna start shit. And I appreciate that. This woman, she wants to cause destruction. I'm on her side. Amazing. The first time that I heard this song, I actually didn't really like it that much. I thought that it was too loud and it gave me a little headache on my first listen. It kind of reminded me of how I feel sometimes when I listen to like an NCT song for the first time and I'm like kind of overstimulated by it. I'm like, whoa, this is kind of like a lot. But then like over time it grows on me. But the fact that this reminded me of NCT in the first place just shows you the power of that Neo Pearl champagne. Okay, something about that shade. It's gonna give you a little bit of a headache, okay? But then it's gonna be so beautiful. You just have to give it you just have to keep listening a little bit, and then like all of a sudden, first it gave you a headache, now it can soothe headaches. Okay, you're feeling down, out, your head stop, you go listen to the song and then you feel better. That's what this gives. By my second listen, I absolutely was obsessed with this song. I loved it. I thought about it all of the time. Like, it took over my life. I really think that it did. I really think it took over my life. It gives like cheer music vibe a little bit. Like, I can picture this in like a Bring It On movie or something. The bass and like the instrumental of it, I just like it. I just think it's funny. I think it's really clever. I like the writing on it. I think the lyrics are cool, you know, and she's like boom 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 clap. I like that. The reference, I like that. And just the chorus just eats and I think about it. I think about it all the time. Like, beautiful, amazing, perfect, and I love it, and I listen to it all the time. I think that this might be my favorite song on the album, even though this is not in the #1 spot, but I was trying to be like objective and not just like, ooh, I love it so much, so this is the favorite one, because I know that's not like the best one, but I definitely think that this is probably my favorite one. Hello Goodbye is our next one. Hello Goodbye is about like being scared of a good thing coming to you, I would say. It's a little bit of like self-sabotage. Like, you see somebody and you like them, but instead of going to talk to them, you like run away from it. And so it's about like being cowardly in a sense, I would say. I just think that this song is like sickeningly relatable. Like, I heard this and I was listening to those lyrics and I was like, oh my god, she's just like me. I really like the instrumental and the production on this song. Like, it's just pleasing to the ear. Like, the little synth vibe, I really like it on here, on this track. It's good and it makes sense and it sounds nice. It's just catchy, it's just a good time. I was though waiting for that beat drop the whole entire time, because like the instrumental does like a really good build up, and so it's like you're just listening to it and you're waiting for that beat drop, and then it's so underwhelming and it just leaves you feeling kind of angry because you're like, girl, what were we building up to? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So what are we gonna do about that? That really is my only flaw with it. But I just like, stylistically, I just really like it. And I also like the distant, like, goodbye when it's like, hello, 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 goodbye. Like, I just like little things like that, differences in like levels of like where the sound is coming from and like how loud it is and like backing words like that. I just think that's cool. So I really, really do like this song. Number 2, we have So I. So I is about Charli's grief from the loss of her longtime musical collaborator and friend Sophie, who sadly passed away in 2021. And it's about her dealing with all of her feelings and her regrets that she has about their relationship. And Charli's whole Crash album is also dedicated to Sophie, and this song is dedicated to her as well. This is just so insanely beautiful, like really, truly, truly it is. It sends chills right down my spine. When I listen to it, I'm like, this is stunning, actually amazing. It gives me a feeling that I can't really verbalize very well, like, because it is so much of a feeling, you know, like I don't know how to say it, because it is like you feel the song when you listen to it. And I am like literally on the verge of tears right now, just like thinking about it and like hearing it in my head. It is so chilling and beautiful. Like, it truly pierces your soul. And I just, like, once again, like I said before, I really do like this ballad sound from Charli. I think that it suits her very well. I think that's very nice. And this song is just completely stunning. And before we move on, I just want to say that my heart goes out to Sophie and all of her friends and family, and I hope that they all, when they can heal and find happiness. And she left a great legacy. So okay, and last but not least, we have the Girl So Confusing version with Lorde. And the Girl So Confusing version with Lorde is also about, like I said before, it's about their relationship and about how the public and the constant comparison of them made them feel a certain type of way towards each other. But it's about them now finally seeing and talking things out and understanding each other's point of view and perspective on the matter, and now being able to be in a good place with one another because they see, oh, I actually don't hate you, I just felt like I had to because I was constantly like in competition with you from the media. And what a big surprise that this is my #1 song. Who would have guessed? Now, I actually was unaware of the fact that there were other remixes. Like, she had a remix of a song with Addison Rae and like a whole bunch of other ones. I didn't know those existed. And so I didn't listen to those, and I didn't want to like backtrack my whole entire process by going and listening to those after I already had like listened and made my ranking. So maybe I'll listen to them in the future, but maybe not. But this one has Lorde in it, so I knew that I had to listen to this one. It was actually the law. It was actually a personal duty that I had, and so I did. This song was stuck in my head all day after I heard it for the first time, and I literally had to like restrain myself from having it on repeat and like listening to it again and again, because I want to give all the songs a fair shot and listen to everything the same amount of times. But this song was calling my name. It was knocking on my skull. It wanted me to play it so bad, but I had to resist. I said, no, not happening. And it didn't. I held myself back. Does that mean that it wasn't playing in my head all day long? No. Does it mean that I didn't basically have it memorized after the first listen? No, it doesn't mean that I didn't do that. Because I did do that, and it was in my head, and it did play so often. I was haunted by this song. It's just so catchy. It's so wondrous. It's so bare. It's so girl. It is everything to me, I think. Like, I truly think it's everything. I think that this is one of the most lyrically charged songs on the album, and it really like forces you to listen. It's hard to ignore the lyrics. Like, sometimes you can just listen and like not really pay attention to the lyrics, but these lyrics kind of smack you in the face, and so it's impossible to ignore it. I really love how it tells a story of two women finally seeing and understanding each other, and it really shows the mindset of a girl, which I think is very cool. Lorde really made this song for me, honestly. Like, she went hard. She went to work. She was serving. She gave every little last bit of her soul into this, and I said, girl, I see it. I see it, and it makes sense, and I love it. I think that like the first time I heard just like the original version of the song. I was like, okay, it's fine. It's good, but I'm waiting for it to be great.
On the bottom, Paige, you were good. I'm waiting for you to be great.
And Lorde gave this song the extra oomph that it really needed, and it hit so hard, so heavy. Like Lorde, she did that. And her and Charli sound really good together. It all like blended really well together, and I think that she elevated an already pretty good song. I just think it's cute. I think it's iconic. I think that I love it. And it is kind of, it's like sad, but it's like also heartwarming, but also like it is introspective, like some other songs on this album, but also it's just like funny. It's funny, like like I did burst out laughing sometimes, cause like girl, you walk like a bitch. When I was 10, someone said that. Tell me that's not the funniest thing you've ever heard in your life. Like, actually, it's a hilarious line and really, really insane. Never heard anything like that ever. So this song is just overall just a great experience. It gives you all the emotions, gives you all the feelings, and it is impossible to forget also. Okay, closing thoughts on the album. Overall, I think this is a very solid album with a variety of sounds that still manages to feel very cohesive, which I think is a really, really impressive thing to do. And for the songs that are clubbier, like I said before, it is harder to enjoy as a casual listener that's just like listening to a song and not actively partying. The majority of the songs on this album are short, but they're so repetitive, they do manage to feel like a drag sometimes, which is not really the greatest thing. And because it'd be like the song will like have you, you'll be like listening to it, you'll be liking it, you'll be having fun, but then it starts to go on for too long and you just kind of check out of it, and it kind of kills the experience of it a little bit, I would say. The vocal production on this album is a bit strange sometimes, with auto-tune and overproduction on the vocals in songs that don't necessarily need it. So I think that they should be more mindful of like what's going on in each song, what the vibe should be, because sometimes auto-tune is not needed, but sometimes it is, and it could elevate a song. So I think they just need to find the balance of like where this is necessary and where it isn't, because like even a little bit is fine, but sometimes it can like kill it, even like a ballad with like the vibrato, and then like there's too much like auto-tune on it, like it gets kind of weird, you know. But I would say that like in the grand scheme of things, every song on this album has something about it that is likable and admirable and something that I appreciate on it. Even the ones that I don't particularly love aren't drastically horrible. And so I think that the balanced quality of the songs in this album is very, very impressive and makes it overall such a good body of work. I think that it's very cool. And that is it. Until I find something new to yap about. Ta-ta for now. Girl, you walk like a bitch. When I was 10, someone said that.